Welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Emily Taplin. Thanks for joining us. Today we bring you a special report on COVID-19 and its impact on our city. First, we begin with your council minute from this week. Here's Mayor Tim Busse.
Hello Bloomington, Mayor Tim Busse here, and this is your council minute reviewing the council meeting from Monday, April 6th. We had our council meeting last night, a very busy meeting, and it was the first meeting in Bloomington history where we did it remotely, and it worked like a charm. Hope you tuned in and hope you saw some of the great work that our staff did putting that all together. Three things that I'd like to talk to you about today. First of all, last night at the meeting, the City Council voted to extend the city's emergency declaration until June 30th. Now, a couple of things about that. I think there's some confusion about the city's emergency declaration as opposed to some of the declarations at the state level. The city's emergency declaration gives staff and the council a little bit more flexibility to maintain the operations of the city in an emergency situation. Good examples are, for example, doing a meeting remotely. If we're not in an emergency, we can't do a meeting remotely. Other possibilities, the city manager and the human resources department are able to furlough employees, which means we simply don't have the work for them right now, but it's not a separation agreement. It's not a complete layoff. It also gives our emergency people an opportunity to enter into contracts or to procure equipment that would normally take some bidding and take some time. It gives a lot more flexibility, and it also gives us the flexibility to end this emergency declaration at any time. If things improve between now and June 30th, we can certainly end it. Do want to be clear though, the state level declarations such as the closure of schools, the closure of bars and restaurants, the stay-at-home recommendations and orders, those are all state level. They're not affected by the city's emergency declaration. The second thing that I want to talk about, we received an update on the COVID-19 pandemic from our city manager and from our Department of Health. As always, we are basing our decisions here in the city of Bloomington based on recommendations and data from the Minnesota Department of Health and the Centers for Disease Control. City staff works very closely with our Department of Health, with our Park and Rec staff, with our public safety people, with our emergency management folks, and all of those folks have input when we look at decisions based on whether or not to open buildings, whether parks should stay open, whether or not we should have organized collection. All of that information comes together, and we heard quite a bit about that and had a very good discussion about the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on the city. One major impact it's going to have on the city of Bloomington is financially. Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic has completely decimated the hospitality industry. And every year, Bloomington budgets about $10 million a year from hotel taxes and taxes from admissions, for example, to Nickelodeon Universe, into the city budget. Obviously, that's all gone, and it's going to leave a significant hole in the city of Bloomington budget. We're predicting the total will be somewhere between $7.5 and $11 million for 2020 alone. It will be significant and it will impact city services, and it's going to be a challenge for all of us to manage. One thing I will tell you though, we're not standing around waiting for grass to grow under our feet, wondering what we're going to do next. City staff is already budgeting, already looking at long-term proposals, long-term measures, possibilities about how to work with this. And city staff and elected officials are also working very closely with our state and federal elected officials and trying to find solutions to this. It's going to be a significant issue, but it's one that I'm sure that we're going to work through together. The final thing that I want to talk about today is organized collection. The council last night accepted a term sheet to extend the contract with the Bloomington Haulers Consortium for the next 5.5 years, beginning in December of 2020. The term sheet in the contract basically locks in the current system of trash, recycling, and yard waste collection with annual increases of cost at about 3%. Now, I'm sure you've heard a recent Supreme Court ruling means that the question of organized collection is going to be on the ballot in Bloomington in November. More information about that will be coming out very soon. That'll do it, Bloomington. As always, stay safe, take care of yourself, and take care of someone else. Thanks, Bloomington.
Most of the city council members joined the meeting virtually. Only 3 people were in council chambers. Members of the public could still submit comments via email, voicemail, and by calling in. You can catch future and past council meetings here on BTV or at blm.mn/BTV-shows. Curbside Cleanup is still going on as scheduled this year. The city, Bloomington Public Health staff, and Bloomington Haulers Consortium vetted the program and determined they can still do pickup and keep haulers and residents safe. They do encourage people not to pick through items, and as always, please set things out the night before your pickup and not any earlier. This coming Saturday, April 11th, they'll be picking up from Portland to Penn Avenue. For a full list of dates and guidelines, head to blm.mn/cleanup. As of Friday, March 20th, all city facilities were closed to the public to help slow the spread of the virus. Civic Plaza, Bloomington Ice Garden, and Creekside Community Center, to name a few. All will remain closed until further notice. The city will continue to monitor the situation and take advice from the governor's office, CDC, and Minnesota Department of Health. As the situation continues to change on a daily basis, please head to bloomingtonmn.gov for a full list of closures and updates. In an effort to keep parks safe and educate, the city started a parks response team. PRT is comprised of staff from the Parks and Recreation, Public Works, and Public Safety departments. 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., team members will actively monitor the use of Bloomington's parks and trails and respond to questions and concerns. When they see people not following public health guidelines, they'll engage in a friendly and safe way to inform them of the need for compliance. If you see any activity that you don't think is compliant with the CDC guidelines for social distancing, you can contact the PRT at the number or email you see on your screen. You can also submit a complaint at blm.mn/parkform. As part of the effort to keep parks safe, the city decided to close its pickleball courts until further notice. And to help keep our city running and safe, essential services are still continuing. That includes our police department. Here's a message from Chief Potts.
Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Potts and I'm the Chief of Police here in Bloomington, Minnesota. We want to share some information with you today about the stay-at-home order that goes into effect on March 27th at 11:59 hours. We've been getting some questions from residents that are wondering, what does this really mean? And here's what we know at this point. The order is in effect to encourage Minnesotans to stay home. We're trying to slow the spread of COVID-19, and we feel that this order will really help slow the spread with the ultimate hope that we don't overwhelm our healthcare system. And so for this period of time, at this point in time, the order is in effect for 2 weeks. Here's the things that you can do during the stay-at-home order. You can still go get groceries. You can still go to medical appointments, go to the doctor if you need to. You can go pick up takeout food, deliveries. You can get out of your house and walk your dog. You can go to the parks. Of course, we want you to practice good social distancing when you're doing those things. You can pick up essentials for your neighbors or for those people who are in need. Here are some things that you should not do during the stay-at-home order. You should not go to work unless you're providing essential services. You should not socialize or gather in large groups. That's obviously a problem during this period of time. And you should not visit loved ones or family who are in nursing homes or in hospitals, except under limited circumstances. Work with the hospital or the nursing home and make sure that if that can be done safely, that you work with the nursing home and hospitals to do that. Otherwise, you should avoid those places during this stay-at-home period of time. We also want to reassure you that the Bloomington Police Department stands ready to respond to any emergencies that you might have. If there is an emergency in your home, a medical situation or something else, please call 911, the Bloomington Police Department, the Bloomington Fire Department, our local ambulance service, Alliana. We stand ready to come and help you in any emergencies you might have. I also want you to know that I've been out in the community over the last couple of weeks and kind of watching how our community is responding to this pandemic. And I am very proud of the residents in our community that you have done very well at practicing good social distancing. I think that our communities responded under very difficult circumstances, responded very well. And we just want to see that continue. We are asking you to comply with the stay-at-home order. The Bloomington Police Department will be here to help educate our community on the different aspects of the stay-at-home order. We're asking you for your help during the stay-at-home order. We're asking you for that help because we really do want to help slow the spread of COVID-19, and we need your help to do that. Thank you.
First responders are also included in that list of essential services. Chief Uli Seal wants the community to know the response to medical emergencies may look a little different to protect everyone. If you're experiencing flu-like symptoms, first responders will be wearing masks, face shields, and gloves, and if possible, they will stay 6 feet away. In the case of an emergency, never hesitate to call 911. Unfortunately, scammers don't take breaks during a crisis. It's important to avoid scams surrounding COVID-19. You can do that by avoiding opening emails or answering calls from unknown sources. Rely on trusted sources like the Center for Disease Control, FEMA, Minnesota Department of Health, and other national, state, and local government websites. Staying hydrated is an essential part of staying healthy. City water services are uninterrupted and your tap water is safe to drink. Utilities Superintendent Scott Anderson said staff are working hard to make sure Bloomington's drinking water continues to be high quality. To practice social distancing, utility crews are smaller than usual, and you can help the city continue to run things smoothly.
We understand that there's probably an increased use of disinfecting wipes and personal wipes, and those, despite what the labels may say or how they're advertised, are not flushable and only cause us problems in the wastewater collection system, primarily with pumps and lift stations and the plugging of pumps.
When in doubt, remember the 3 Ps. Poop, pee, and paper are the only things that you should flush. Along with the world, Bloomington educators and students are adjusting to online learning. Both Normandale Community College and Bloomington Public Schools were community partners represented at the State of the Community at Civic Plaza on March 24th.
This is an opportunity for innovation. So we've empowered our leaders and faculty to use their ingenuity and share best practices as they emerge. We ask students and parents for patience and understanding as together we venture into district-wide distance learning for the first time.
There's been a question about commencement, and we are looking at various ways that we can celebrate you. And through the social distancing, it has been very important for us to make sure that we don't have large gatherings. But rest assured, we are going to find a way to celebrate your success because we know that you've worked hard for this milestone. So stay tuned for more information on that.
To view the entire State of the Community and learn more about these adjustments, head to blm.mn/SOC. That is the buzz on Bloomington Today. If you would like to watch other stories from the show, go to this week's playlist. There you'll find a few encouraging videos to get you motivated to take your 2020 census. Plus, learn how Veep revamped its food services to keep volunteers and clients safe. Thanks for watching.